Hi, and welcome to this NET English Back to Basics video. Today, focusing on Language Paper 1, Question 2. Now, as previously, the idea in each of these videos on this playlist is going to be we're going to go through a very simple summary version of the question and key points about how you approach it, and we'll do it as quickly and as straightforwardly as possible. Right, Language Paper 1, Question 2. Now, by the time you come to the question, you should already have read the extract and answered question 1. Now, question 2 is, again, pretty straightforward. It does what it says on the tin. It's about language. So what that means is it's about the words and the techniques that the writer has used. And it's 8 marks, so you've got 10 minutes. Now, the exam paper does give you the correct bit of the text, so you can't really go far wrong. Now for this question, you're only really marked on 3 things. First of all, what it is. So you're marked on the technique or the method or the feature. Whatever you call it, it means the same thing. Secondly, you're marked on where that is. So the quotation that backs up where that technique or that method or that feature can be found. Thirdly, you're marked on what it does, the effect of it. Now a good rule of thumb is to aim for 2 to 3 paragraphs, which means 2 to 3 features. For each one, it's also a good idea, after you've talked about what the feature is and where it is and what it does, to then talk about some of the words that have been used, and it's always safe to do that. Now you'll find people obsessing over paragraph structures, what, how, why, p, peel, petal, sqi, and there's 100 others. Essentially, if we cut through it all, they're doing the same thing. What is it, where is it, and what does it do? As long as you fit those things in, you can't go far wrong. Now, as a top tip from me, there can be any number of features, but I tend to think that the ones you always find are semantic fields, imagery, so similes, metaphors, and that sort of thing, and juxtaposition. So semantic fields, basically groups of words about the same topic or the same idea. Similes, metaphors, they're straightforward. And juxtaposition, so contrasting things. And I think you always find those 3 things in any text you ever look at. You do need to be careful, though, to make sure that it's language describing the correct thing. So for this question, it's about the landscape. So for this question and this extract, we might, for example, pick out, say, the simile of the doorway and the windows being like eyes. That's what it is, and do make sure you're specific. So it's got to be a metaphor of something, a semantic field of something. So I've got the quotation, doorway windows are bricked up, like eyes and windows permanently closed. So that's where that simile is. And then I've got the effect, which is the sense of this being somewhere that's either asleep or dead. So that's what it does. Now I think I'd also want to talk about the verb closed. It's interesting because it's like the closing of the businesses has killed the place. So closed suggests someone's done it and refers both to places and to people. You could even infer that it means no one's looking anymore. And that's what I'd call my zoom. So you end up with a paragraph that looks maybe a bit like that. In the extract, the writers use a simile, comparing the cinema to a human face in the reference to the doorway and windows bricked up, like eyes and windows permanently closed. So I've got what it is and where it is. This creates a sense of the cinema being either sleeping or dead, suggesting the place is beyond saving, forever gone. So there's my effect. The use of the verb closed, in particular, suggests that someone has forced this place to close, and that the closing of businesses like this has led to the metaphorical death of the community. Closed could even imply the place is now ignored, that no one's even looking at it anymore. And that's my zoom. Now, if I want to push for higher marks on this question, I'd want to be aiming to write more about what I've chosen. So, is there another way of interpreting the quotation or interpreting the word? Is there an extra layer? I could zoom in on another word to develop it further, or make links between this and another bit of this section that I'm analysing. Do watch out, though, for people who try to tell you that there are certain techniques that sound clever and get you higher marks. It isn't really true. You can get full marks talking about the personification of the local industry, and you can get a very, very low mark talking about, the anthropomorphic symbolism of the local industry. It's what you say about it, your interpretation and your ideas that make the difference, not trying to throw in obscure technical terms that someone somewhere thought sounded clever. So please, please, please don't fall into that trap. And that's it. Language Paper 1, Question 2. Just a quick summary. As ever, there's more videos covering all the other aspects of the exam, and there's other videos kind of deepening the way we look at some of these questions as well. So do feel free to check those out, also on the NET English YouTube channel. Thanks for your time.